Since before the turn of the century, the Jackson and Taylor Street area of San Jose has been a focal point for Asian cultural and commercial activity. With its ethnic shops and restaurants, doctors' offices and churches, markets and pharmacies, all within a 3-block radius, the neighborhood has the ambience of a small town. Its rhythm, a slow counterpoint to the pace of greater San Jose.
The first to settle here were the Chinese. They had been brought to California to work in gold mines and build the railroads. With Santa Clara Valley's agricultural boom, they came to San Jose to work in nearby fields and canneries.
Unfortunately, when Chinese families tried to locate in certain areas, they were frequently turned away. One of the only landowners willing to rent to them was a German by the name of Heinlein.
Most of the property around here was his, and Heinleinville, as it was called back then, became one of the largest Chinese settlements outside of San Francisco. Gary?
Thanks, Tom. Now, when Japan legalized the emigration of her citizens between 1885 and 1924, about 200,000 entered the U.S. They came mostly from Japan's agriculturally oriented class, and to them, the fertile Santa Clara Valley was a natural place to set down new roots.
The Chinese at that time believed that their stay here would be only a temporary one. As a result, they didn't buy anything or invest in anything. What money they earned, they sent home to their families. The Japanese, on the other hand, they came to America to stay. To them, this was the land of opportunity.
And they proved to be excellent truck farmers. No one could hold a candle to their ability to grow vegetables.
And berries.
And celery. I don't think anyone even grew celery around here until the Japanese arrived.
The Japanese were careful to keep their own customs and culture, but it was important to them to be westernized also. They learned English, for an example, so that they could handle themselves in business and eventually buy property.
Well, gradually, old Heinleinville here became known more appropriately as Japantown.
Most of the Japanese immigrants were men. As recorded in 1900, there were only 410 married women in a population of 12,000. Since California state law prohibited interracial marriages between Japanese and Caucasians then, many of the marriageable-aged bachelors had to send away for what were called picture brides, kind of like a turn-of-the-century photo date. The Japanese government stopped the practice of picture brides in 1921, and those young men who were unable to find brides before that date remained bachelors.
The Japanese settlers here were extremely organized. They kept establishing business and social organizations to assist them in their new life. One of the first to cater to their spiritual needs was the Japanese Methodist Episcopal Church, founded in 1895. It's now known as the Wesley United Methodist Church. Across the street is the office of the Japanese American Citizens League. Its primary function when first established was to motivate better citizenship.
The building that now houses the Japanese American Citizen League is something of a landmark in itself. It was built in 1910 and was one of the first hospitals in the country providing a Japanese medical staff. Its surgical facilities and hospital ward served as a clinic until the outbreak of World War I.
One of the most beautiful landmarks in Japantown, or in all of San Jose for that matter, is the Buddhist temple here on 5th Street.
The church was established in 1902 to allow a more customary form of worship to the hundreds of immigrating Japanese. This particular structure was built in 1937 and is an exact copy of one of the largest temples in Japan.
Although the building may be only 45 years old, it reflects the artistic serenity of a religious faith that is well over 1,400 years old. The only change here is that the traditional straw floor mats have been replaced with Western pews.
Whether you live in the neighborhood or not, Japantown is a real haven. It's not what you'd call a tourist attraction, and that's probably all for the best.
It does attract workers from the downtown area who like to come here for a quiet lunch, but basically, the neighborhood serves the people who live here. It gives them a sense of cultural identification.
Hey, did I tell you guys I used to have a paper out here when I was a kid?
Oh.
Swell. One of the really nice things about Japantown is that there's a lot of community spirit here that can't be found in other parts of San Jose.